dust and prayers they couldn't speak. The company boss had taken all the strong, left only weak. He owned the water, owned the store, he even owned the sun. Said the only honest profit was a fight already won. Another new name rode the canyons, not for greed but for the score. Striking only at the man who preyed upon the poor. He leaves the small folk breathing, takes the company's ill-gotten pay. And the folks down in the hollow started hoping he would stay. He's a desert's taxman, collecting on the wrongs, the justice that was missing from the lawman's tight songs. He ain't stealing from the hungry, he's just evening up the scales. A righteous storm of silver riding on the western trails. He holds the coin and shouts, the debt's been paid in full. He tells the hungry family, the law is just a fool. He knew the train from Flagstaff carried bonds and printed lies. Money taken from the farmers with the dust still in their eyes. He didn't use the dynamite, he used a sharp and sudden trick. Walked past the helpless passengers, ignored the nervous sick. He only went for ledger one, the records of the dead, the names of every family that the company hadn't finished yet. He burned the papers till the smoke turned to ash in the air, leaving only freedom and the law screaming in despair. He's a desert's taxman, collecting on the wrongs, the justice that was missing from the lawman's tight songs. He ain't stealing from the hungry, he's just evening up the scales. A righteous storm of silver riding on the western trails. He holds a coin and shouts, the debt's been paid in full. He tells the hungry family, the law is just a fool. The posters call him villain, they paint his face a sin. But when he passes through the shanties, the cheers begin. He says the law is just another kind to keep the wealthy fed. I just skipped the middleman and took the money instead. His brand of sin is freedom, his hell is being caught. He stands against their failures and he fights the battles they have fought. He sleeps out on the mesa where the wind erases tracks. Every single morning he never dares look back. His pockets hold the burden of the choice he had to make. A true-born outlaw for the people, for the goodness that he takes. He's riding out forever, the hero no one asked for. And the company boss is praying that the taxman comes no more. But the poor folk raise their glasses and they whisper up his name, the outlaw who brought fair play to the West crooked game. for spurs, and I buried that old gun. Traded fast black leather for the sun. I took the name of James and built a fence and shack. Thought the trail dust I had left would never want me back. I worked the soil and held a hand that never drew a bead. Tried to plan an honest future, choke the outlaw's weed. But the past ain't just a memory you can simply ride away from. It's a brand burned on your soul that starts to heat up by the dawn. He's a branded man trying to wash the powder from his face, walking slow, lost in a simple, quiet place. But the shadow of the gallows still hangs across his door, 'cause a bloody spill keeps knocking, asking for more. The life he stole won't let him keep the peace he found. He's a fugitive of fortune, pinned forever to the ground. Last winter by the river, a tide rider passed. Saw the scar beneath my collar, saw the die was cast. He was a hungry man with empty eyes and a rusted badge of law. Said the reward on your old head is too sweet for me to draw. He tried to take me quiet, but a promise made us thin. When the devil you outrun finally lets his riders in. So I had to find that eye, feel the cold steel in my hand, and ride out one more morning from a life I almost planned. He's the branded man trying to wash the powder from his face, walking slow, lost in a simple, quiet place. But the shadow of the gallows still hangs across his door, 'cause a bloody spill keeps knocking, asking for more. The life he stole won't let him keep the peace he found. He's a fugitive of fortune, pinned forever to the ground. Oh, the good folks here will point, swear I tricked them with a smile. They'll say the honest farmer only lasted for a while. But the bullet of your history always finds the mark it set. And a man can't kill the outlaw that he hasn't buried yet. I should've known a straight road was never meant for me. Now I'm back upon the desert where the mountains have no name, riding hard from yesterday, running from the shame. I wear the brand like iron, and I ride without a home. My only company's a fear that I'll forever roam. I know the last fence is ahead, the last canyon I must clear, and I'll fall with all the gold that kept me running all these years. But when I draw my final breath beneath the western sky, the branded man will finally be the one that gets to die.
see the silk and they see the smile, they see the flicker in my eye. They don't see the canyon shadows where their foolish dollars lie. The desert is a cruel place and men are cruel and weak. So I learned to take my payment before they ever speak. I wear the perfume of danger and a slow, seductive sway, and I lead the thirsty fools right down the long and crooked way. I'll let them buy a whiskey, tell me all the things I need, and they never hear the warning of the bitter, hungry greed. I am the desert siren and the price is always high. I'm the sweetest thing you'll ever see. Before you die, they ride out full of promises, they ride full of gold. But I'm the trap that breaks the spirit, the story to be told. I don't need a fast gun, I don't need a single shot. I use the lure of a longing to take everything you've got. The marshal thought he caught me, said he'd ride me back to town, but he didn't see the ambush on the high and dusty crown. He talked of badges, talked of law, talked of a swift embrace. He only saw the victory shining bright upon his face. I led him past the cactus bloom right to the silent band, where my brothers waited patient, ready for the end. I watched the fool fall easy, didn't shed a single tear. His last sight was my face, his last sound was my silent sneer. I am the desert siren and the price is always high. I'm the sweetest thing you'll ever see. Before you die, they ride out full of promises, they ride in full of gold. But I'm the trap that breaks the spirit, a story to be told. I don't need a fast gun, I don't need a single shot. I use the lure of a longing to take everything you've got. They say a woman can't be trusted when the sun starts getting low. They say we're born to sweetness, but what do those blind men know? I own this heat, I own this dust, I own the lies I sell. And every dollar taken is another crack in hell. I'd rather be the killer than the girl who stays behind. I'm the treasure they pursue and the fool they fail to find. The desert holds its secrets beneath the burning sand, and I hold the final power in the palm of my own hand. I never leave a fingerprint, I never fire a shell, just a lingering scent of lilacs and a whisper of a spell. So let the rich men follow me, let the lawmen dream and thirst. I'll make sure that their ending is far worse than just the first. I'm the outlaw they won't recognize until they feel the sting. The most dangerous thing out here is the wedding ring I bring.
We met down by the salt mine under sun that made men bleed. For hard hands with empty pockets and a desperate kind of need. We drew a line in the alkali dust beneath the cruel-ass sky. Said break the law for strangers, but never let a brother die. There was a code, the only faith that we would ever keep. Out where the land is poison and the silence runs too deep. We took the silver from the safe, the gold from every train, and used the desert's loneliness to mask the heavy stain. It's the oath of Alkali flats paid in blood and whispered low. The only thing that matters is the place your bullets go. We ride for the man beside us, not for God or corner creed. And when the whistle blows the warning, we answer to the need. We sold our souls for a promise on a long and dusty haul. And when one of us starts to break, we watch the others fall. The marshal pinned a bounty on the face of Jimmy Blue. Said he'd trade our hide for pardon, that we knew what we should do. Jimmy swore he'd ride away, that he'd take the heat alone. But the oath ain't just for safety, it's a seed that must be sown. So we ambushed a posse by the creek beneath the pale thin moon. Unnecessary violence finished quick and far too soon. That night the fire was choking and the whiskey tasted grim, because the price of saving one meant killing five for him. It's the oath of Alkali flats paid in blood and whispered low. The only thing that matters is the place your bullets go. We ride for the man beside us, not for God or corner creed. And when the whistle blows the warning, we answer to the need. We sold our souls for a promise on a long and dusty haul. And when one of us starts to break, we watch the others fall. They talk about the money, the treasure that we hide, but the heaviest weight we carry is the brother at our side. We've been caught by the same sickness, the poison in the heart. We swore that nothing human could ever tear us apart. But that kind of iron loyalty, it leaves a bitter taste, because the trust we put in others always goes to waste. Now the flats are getting tighter and the water's running dry, and I watch the eyes of my last friend whenever he rides by. He sees the endless desert, I see the coming rope, and the man who pulls the fastest holds the only kind of hope. The law can't break the oath, but hunger always can. And the deadliest betrayal comes from your own right-hand man. So I'm cleaning my six-shooter and I'm loading it with Whistler start at sundown, when the shadows stretch and creep, of a hollow wind that carries secrets from the deep. He ain't no gun blaze bandit, no loud and boastful fool, just a chill that haunts the darkness, breaking every human rule. Through the jagged, hungry teeth of the land where hope runs thin, there's a silent, watchful empire where the trouble can begin. He's Canyon Jack, the phantom dust, the rustle in the grass. Man, they chase that always rides too fast. He leaves no tracks for eyes to find. He steals before the dawn. He's a cold coal in the silence, and then he's gone. You won't hear his gun smoke, you just feel the canyon sigh. He's a ghost that never lived and never has to die. The stagecoach tried the northern pass, a brave and foolish run. Heavy strong box guards alert beneath the setting sun. They heard no shout, they saw no phone, just a sudden eerie quiet. Then the driver felt the rifle pressed against his neck, a riot in his pounding fear-filled heart as the gold was swiftly gone, and the ghost just melted back before the first pale break of dawn. They searched the cracks, they scouted high, they clawed through scree stone, but only got the wind's cold laugh of Canyon Jack rides alone. He's Canyon Jack, the phantom dust, the rustle in the grass. A man they chase that always rides too fast. He leaves no tracks for eyes to find. He steals before the dawn. He's a cold coil in the silence, and then he's gone. You won't hear his gun smoke, you just feel the canyon sigh. He's the ghost that never lived and never has to die. They promise silver for his head, they promise hanging rope, but how do you string up shadow, how do you jail all hope? He chose a black rock for his bed, the starless sky his roof, a solitary freedom, his heart as true as proof. He's woven to the bedrock where the living sleep with dead. He hears the town bells ringing, but he turns his horse instead. No warmth alone, no poker game, no woman's gentle hand, just the echoes of his choices across this unforgiving land. He knows each ledge, each hidden spring, each eagle's loneliness. The canyon is his witness, puts his conscience to the test, and as the moon climbs high above a sliver in the vast dark sky, you can almost hear the canyon sigh. The ghost will never die. They locked me in the stone house, heard the turn of the iron key, said the preacher's coming early, and the rope was waiting free. I watched the sun climb up the wall, and now it's slower than the fear. And the only sound that mattered was the sheriff drinking beer. They nailed a flyer on the door, told the town the show was set. Just me and a cold hangman and the dead I hadn't paid yet. But I knew the old was riding, though the miles were long and grim. I just had to keep breathing till the sight of all of them. When the bell starts to toll and the clock hand hits the mark, that's a signal for the riders coming straight out of the dark. They ain't here for talk or mercy, they ain't here to count the cost. They're here to burn the gallows down for the brother they almost lost. Hear the rifles cracking, hear the glass shattering spray. They can't break the promise that they couldn't keep me till today. They marched me out to meet the crowd, felt a noose brush on my neck. The sheriff read the warrant, said the law was running check. I closed my eyes and whispered low, a prayer to the desert air. I'm sorry for the trouble, boys, I know you won't be there. But then the wind changed sudden, and I heard a distant sound. A frantic drum beat, a hoofbeat pounding on the ground. I saw the dust cloud rising, a beautiful swift tide, and I knew the oath had come for me with nowhere left to hide. When the bell starts to toll and the clock hand hits the mark, that's a signal for the riders coming straight out of the dark. They ain't here for talk or mercy, they ain't here to count the cost. They're here to burn the gallows down for the brother they almost lost. Hear the rifles cracking, hear the glass shatter and spray. They can't break the promise that they couldn't keep me till today. Screamed and scattered, the lawman drew too late. My brothers came like thunder, riding hard against my fate. One bullet took the hangman, another took the key, and the chain that held my hands just snapped and finally set me free. I snatched a gun and spun around and laughed into the fight. 'Cause dying on the gallows sure beats living in the light. Now we ride hard to the camp.